I'm not a person who has a large family and likely not going to have one myself. But in the topics that I cover on my page, obviously in the emotional aspects, in the self development, in the social relationships, and so forth, everyone has different experiences, and obviously there are many people who have large families and relatives and siblings and that. And I thought I would do a bit of a small coverage with a bit of a focus on, but it can easily be expanded across obviously other interrelationships in like similar scenarios, switching some aspects of it, of course. And for that, I was going to go with the sibling aspect and the sharing aspect, right? So, you know, in thinking of, for example, incentivizing children, your children or your offspring or the people you take care of, even if they're not necessarily your biological or adopted, is in the sense of creating a sense of awareness of the reality of civilization, society, and participation, and social responsibility, but also seeing that there is a reward to teach both the incentivize aspect of earning your way through life, and simultaneously the good things do come with benefits, and also teaching self-value in other aspects, of course, which is often not mentioned. And there's a balance in between, of course, to teach that. It's very important, especially in a civilization and society that is built and has a tendency of being abusive and likes the tendency of the slave world is still, even though the same like older applications in a different format, as you can see with data abuses and so forth. In that sense, in the sibling bonding, in that in there's only so much your average person can afford in things like that, and obviously the more children you have than the things. But when you look at it from the perspective of that you are often bringing your allowance to share in said activities with others, or that is often the desire of a young person, at least that's seeking to be bonding, that creating that bond to among siblings is very important, and perhaps taking a little more thought and care into those things when you have larger families is a good manner of creating that, versus the difference in the division and even often hatred that I've heard in commentaries of people with having to share in said the pool of allowance. And that, and in the sense of that is there's of course a difference on taking from someone's things and breaking it apart, and then there's a difference of something that is for all and how it is properly and fairly divided in value, and what each does with that, etc. Those matter too. So in that sense, for taking it out of the context of sibling relationship and set allowances, in the other aspects it matters too. In other aspects will of course have different influences than said sibling allowance. So keeping all those aspects in mind, in that, then when it comes to that, it's important that any creation of both incentives or a scenes of said attempt to create in a scenario of sharing, or even some small, what people call healthy competition, that different aspects have to be kept in mind, because the point is no, oh, everybody does it. The point is that it's about evolving and advancing beyond the everybody does it mentality.